I had a terrifying realization yesterday. I was standing in line for coffee, maybe a 3-minute wait, tops, and I felt this itch. I physically couldn't just stand there. I had to pull out my phone, check 3 emails, and scroll through a feed. It felt like if I wasn't doing something, I was wasting existence. When did we become so terrified of a quiet moment?
It's the modern condition, isn't it? We've equated silence with inefficiency. But what you're describing isn't just a personal quirk. It's a systemic rewiring of how we value time. We've moved from viewing time as a river to viewing it as a container that must be stuffed to the absolute brim. If there's an air pocket, we panic.
That is such a vivid image. The container. It feels exactly like that. Like, if I have a Saturday with nothing on the calendar, I don't feel relaxed. I feel guilty. Like I'm failing at the job of being me incorporated.
Exactly. We've internalized capitalism so deeply that we view our own souls as employees that need to be managed. This is what philosophers call the commodification of the self. You aren't just a person anymore, you are a project. And projects need to hit KPIs. The problem is, the human brain wasn't designed to run like a factory. It was designed to wander, to stare at the clouds, to be bored.
Boredom. Now there's a word that's almost extinct. I remember being a kid and being bored out of my mind. It was painful, but then, eventually, I'd invent a game or go explore the backyard. Now, boredom is just a signal to consume content. Are we losing the ability to be creative because we killed boredom?
Without a doubt. Think of boredom as the brain's defrag mode. When you're bored, your default mode network lights up. That's the part of the brain responsible for connecting disparate ideas, for autobiography, for empathy. When you constantly plug that gap with stimulus podcasts, emails, TikToks, you are effectively preventing your brain from making long-term connections. You're trading deep insight for shallow engagement.
That's actually frightening. So by trying to be productive every second, I'm actually making myself shallower?
You're making yourself a very efficient processor of other people's information, but a terrible generator of your own. It's the difference between a library and a printing press. You're filling the shelves, but you aren't writing any new books. And this obsession with productivity, it's a trap because the goalpost always moves.
Oh, absolutely. It's the inbox zero fallacy. You think, if I just clear these 50 emails, I'll be free. But answering 50 emails just generates 50 replies.
Right. It's Sisyphus, but Sisyphus thinks if he pushes the rock fast enough, he'll get a promotion. The irony is that historically, technology was promised to liberate us. Keynes, the economist, predicted in the 1930 seconds that by now, we'd all be working 15-hour weeks. He thought our biggest problem would be figuring out what to do with all our leisure time.
15-hour weeks? I think I did 15 hours between Monday and Tuesday morning. Where did he get it wrong? We have the technology. I can send a document to Tokyo in a second. Why are we working more, not less?
Because efficiency doesn't lead to leisure, it leads to higher expectations. When writing a letter took an hour, you were expected to write one a day. Now that an email takes 30 seconds, you're expected to write 100. We just filled the vacuum with more volume, but there's a deeper psychological layer here too. Busyness has become a status symbol.
I see that all the time. How are you? Oh, so busy. Crazy busy. It's like a badge of honor. If you said, I'm actually not busy at all, I spent the afternoon watching birds, people would look at you like you're unemployed or having a breakdown.
Precisely. In the 19th century, leisure was the status symbol. It showed you didn't have to work. Today, in the knowledge economy, busyness signals that you are in demand. If you aren't busy, you're irrelevant. So we perform busyness even when we don't need to. We check Slack at 9 p.m. not because there's an emergency, but to signal to the tribe, I am valuable, I am working.
It's performative anxiety. But let's pivot to the cost. We've talked about the brain, but what about the soul? I feel like this constant optimization strips the texture out of life. We listen to audiobooks at 2x speed. Why? To get through the book faster. But isn't the point of a book to savor it?
That is the ultimate tragedy of the optimization mindset. It treats life as something to be gotten through. When you listen to Mozart at 2x speed, you aren't hearing Mozart, you're hearing noise. When you optimize a conversation with a friend to be efficient, you kill the intimacy. Intimacy is inefficient. Love is inefficient. Wandering is inefficient. All the things that make life worth living are, by definition, a waste of time in terms of productivity.
Intimacy is inefficient. That hits hard. You can't schedule quality time. You can't say, okay, we will have a deep emotional breakthrough between 7:15 and 7:30 p.m.
You can try, but it usually ends in an argument. The Greeks had two words for time, chronos and kairos. Chronos is clock time, minutes, seconds, deadlines. Kairos is the opportune moment, the qualitative experience of time. It's that feeling when you're deep in conversation and hours pass like minutes. The productivity cult worships chronos and sacrifices kairos. We are rich in minutes but poor in moments.
So how do we rebel? Because I can't just quit my job and go live in a yurt. I have bills. The world demands speed. How do we reclaim kairos without going broke?
It starts with strategic underachievement. You have to decide what actually matters and aggressively fail at the rest. You cannot do it all. The rebellion is the word no. It's protecting your off time with the same ferocity you protect your work meetings.
That's hard though. The FOMO is real.
The FOMO is a marketing tactic. Look, the most radical thing you can do today is to do one thing at a time. When you walk, just walk. Don't listen to a podcast. When you eat, just eat. Don't watch TV. Retrain your brain to tolerate the singular activity. It's painful at first. You will feel that itch you felt in the coffee line.
The withdrawal symptoms.
Yes, sit with it. That itch is your brain detoxing from the dopamine loop. If you can survive the itch, on the other side is focus. On the other side is actual presence.
It reminds me of that quote, I think it was Pascal. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone.
Pascal nailed it hundreds of years ago. We are running away from ourselves. We use busyness as a numbing agent. If I'm busy, I don't have to think about whether I'm happy. If I'm optimizing my morning routine, I don't have to ask if I like my life.
Wow, so productivity is an anesthetic.
In high doses, yes, it keeps the existential questions at bay. But those questions are the only ones that matter.
So, the challenge for our listeners and for me, frankly, is to stop optimizing for a week.
I'd say start smaller. Pick 1 hour a day. The untouchable hour. No phone, no inputs, no goals. Just exist. It will feel like a waste of time. And that is exactly the point. You need to waste time to remember that time belongs to you, not your employer, and not your smartphone.
It's terrifying, but I think I need it. It's about reclaiming the human being from the human doing.
Beautifully put. We are human beings after all, not human doings. We've forgotten the noun because we're so obsessed with the verb.
Well, on that note, I'm going to go do absolutely nothing for a while, and I hope everyone listening takes a moment to just stop. Thanks for this deep dive.
My pleasure. Go waste some time. It's good for you.